Dear student, when you download the graph software from the Moodle webpage for Calculus 1, then the next thing is that you wanted to know how to use it. So, we will give you here a brief introductions on how to start to use the graph software to graph different type of functions and their derivatives. Okay, let's start with graphing functions. Insert functions, and then after that write the expression for the function sine of x over x. Now let's start the range on the x-axis. You wanted to start from which number to which number? Let's start from -5 to 5. And for the graph, let's start by this red dot and end with this red dot. And you could give it a title, this function, if you want, label. If not, then just leave it blank. Then what is the color of the graph? Let's keep it as red. Now this is going to be the graph of your function sine of x over x, when x between -5 and 5. Be careful about the domain of your functions. Now you know that your function is not defined at 0. So here should be an open circle, len of x minus 1. Again, the values on the x-axis, let's choose it to be -5 to 5. Starting point, let's be like this one. And this is the end. And let's choose different color for the curve. Let's choose it to be maroon. Okay, so this is going to be the curve of the function. Notice that your function, this one, len of x minus 1, is defined for all x's greater than 1. At x is equivalent to 1, we have a vertical asymptote. Your function is not going to be defined here. And that is evident from the graph, because as we are approaching x is equivalent to 1, you could see that your function is decreasing without any bound. To see it further, you could just go to zoom and then move system, and then that is going to give you further down, and you could see that how the curve is decreasing without any bound. As we are approaching the vertical asymptote, x is equivalent to 1. To see it more, you could just go to functions and insert shading and choose the first option, which is you wanted the shade to be between the curve of your function and between the x-axis. Okay, so from here you could see that the shade will not go beyond x is equal to 1. Okay, and check all of these. Let's start with the simple functions. X is equal to f of x is equivalent to x squared. Insert functions, x to the power 2. And then start from -6 to 6. And then here let's start these dots to mark the start and the end of the function. Let's choose different color. Let's choose maroon. So this is going to be f of x is equivalent to x squared. Now, if you wanted to find the tangent line, let's say at x is equivalent to 1, then go to function and then insert tangent normal, and then choose the value for the x that you wanted your tangent line at. So let's choose 1. And then if you wanted to give it an expressions title for this tangent line, you could do so. And what is the starting and ending for this line? Let's choose the same thing, -6 to 6. Then press OK. So this is going to be your tangent line. And here it will give you the value of the cursor, the value of the x, and the value of y at this point for the tangent line. Now, if you wanted, now highlight the function. Now, if you wanted to know what is the value of the function at x is equivalent to 1 and the value of the derivative and the second derivative as well, the first and the second derivative, then go to calculate, evaluate, then from here choose the function. Now choose at the value 1. The value of your function is going to be 1. The value of the first derivative is going to be 2. The value of the second derivative is going to be 2. Now what if you, for the function x squared, you wanted to know what is the extrema, if it is having any extremas. So here press on extrema with this function. That will give you, well, you have a minimum here at x is equivalent to 0, and the value of the function here is going to be 0 as well, and the value of the first derivative is going to be 0, and the value of the second derivative is going to be 2 at this point, 0, 0, where you are going to have a minimum. Now you are going to also to have the concept about the areas and the integrations of functions. So let's calculate what is the area is going to be. Let's calculate the area from here to here. So from x is equivalent to 1 to x is equivalent to 3, what is the area is going to be? Well, the value of the area is going to be given here, and it's going to be given shaded here as well. Now all of this is really nice. Now if you wanted to save the image of the graph that you have, let's go to edit and copy the image, and then just go, for example, in Word if you wanted to put it, and just paste, and that's the graph. It's going to be pasted here. And that's all. There are other options that you could explore yourself, so try it.